Back again.
Hi.
Hello. To this live-ish, not live-ish, we still won't have a name-ish, the Amish show, the non-Amish show. If you're Amish and you're watching this.
Amish.
Yeah, Amish. Today we're looking at Q figs. Q the figs. Q the figs. Look, make it look like there's a little battle scene going on here. Raccoon.
Racket.
They are Q figs. They're by QMX. QMXonline.com. My collection started with the Rocket Raccoon. When I was over at the Lobo's house, Dixie Lobo had him sitting on the desk. And just kept drooling. I just picked him up and I'd look at him and put him down, picking him up and look at him. And Dixie was like, oh, well, so I get these things and I just put them on display until I don't like them anymore. And then I'm ready to get rid of them. I'm like, oh, you're getting rid of him, huh? Huh? And yeah, that's how I acquired Rocket. And then Dixie had Doctor Strange for sale at the Comic-Con that I was at. And I'm like, he goes perfect with Rocket. I can't split them up. We did a trade.
Because obviously they're best friends.
Yes, they're best buddies. You know all the movies where they've teamed up together all the time.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I traded some of what I was selling at my table for Doctor Strange for him to come home. It was funny because it's like I had to have Rocket because that's just become the figure. Disneyfied Marvel Universe, they didn't have the license to the X-Men. My favorite character, of course, is Wolverine. And so there's not a lot of Wolverine product out there because it was owned by Fox and they're kind of limiting that kind of stuff. There is a Wolverine Q-Fig, though. We found him, remember? I mean, there's Wolverine and there's all 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Each turtle is their own. I'd get Mikey. If I had to only get one, I'd get Mikey.
If I had to get one, might get
Leonardo? All the turtles are separate, so it's like, oh. They're all at Walmart. So that means you got to hunt for them. So it's like they're going to have like 3 of them and then they're going to be missing one. Or they're going to be all 4 like Leonardo's.
Yeah.
It's like,
it would be awesome if they were all just one giant Q-Fig and they were and they were all just like there in like this weird scene.
And we've seen Spider-Ham. There's a Spider-Ham too, and he's got to come home. So. This one and that one, as far as I know, they were the only way you could get these 2 were Loot Crate. They were Loot Crate only characters. It's not. I don't think you can find them on the shelves. If I am wrong, I'm sure the internet will let me know. This one, of course, came from Hot Topic. He was the last one on the shelf. And Riley lets me know how much he needs to be at her home.
He needs to be on the shelf with
That one I got you as a gift,
Marvel.
but that one came from Barnes & Nobles. And then this one we found at that antique shop.
Good find.
Antique shop? Coming home. There you go.
They had a lot of cool stuff there.
I mean, honestly, I like the Q-Figs on their own anyway. Like, even though like Captain Marvel's not my favorite, I would just like, it's just kind of like, I kind of would like her on my shelf.
Yeah, they just like look cool all together.
I mean, they're not exactly the Scotty Young because they're not really babyfied, but they're kind of a little on the chibi side. Kind of got the little bit of the big heads and the whatnot. The Q-Figs kind of disappeared off the shelves for a little bit, and then they kind of started making a comeback. I kind of wonder if they were just...
I think people weren't like too sure about them at first, and then they just started... So they stopped like putting them out, but then people were like, oh wait, these are actually kind of cool. And then more and more people just like, kept getting them.
Because now like there's the Wolverine, there's Deadpool, and now like Walmart's carrying them in stock, which Walmart never carried them in stock. Usually you could only get them at like the comic book shows. Some of the stores may carry them. But like Barnes & Nobles was probably like the only place that I saw them. And Hot Topic. Hot Topic used to carry a lot of them. But then they ditched the stock. They got rid of a bunch of them. That's where like I got him for like next to nothing because he was last on the shelves. And they kind of disappeared, but then I've been noticing them coming back. Yeah, like Wolverine definitely has to come here. Spider-Ham definitely has to come here. We were even, there's actually some stuff that are not Marvel Universe.
Yeah, there's like It, and I want
there's
the
It. One. There's Freddy. There's Freddy Krueger. Well, there's a Catwoman. There's a couple Catwoman out there. Wasn't there? There was an anime one too, wasn't there? Or was that something different? I'm thinking of.
I don't know. I think might have been. I'd imagine that Q-Fig would probably dip into the anime.
Maybe.
Thing.
I like it.
Yeah, they're really cool to just like have
on your shelf.
Yeah.
They don't take up a lot of space. I mean, that's the problem with like some of these. These guys there that they take up like a.
Like with my shelf, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's like on the back, and then there's like space up front, and these sit up front. But because the base is so like wide, it hangs off of my shelf a little bit, and they both do.
Do you have your baubles? Your bobbleheads sit with them and stuff? Mm-hmm. So that was the other comparison I was going to say was that the bobbleheads. What are they? The pop. Mm-hmm. The pop baubles. They used to, when they first came out, they were rock and roll. You could get like Ozzy Osbourne and a lot of the other ones, and they didn't stick. Mm-hmm. And that was the same thing. I remember going to like FYE, and you could get them from like anywhere to like $2 to $3 or whatever. They were dirt cheap because they couldn't get rid of them. And then all of a sudden they started doing Marvel and DC, and now they're just so obnoxious. Where it's like, you go in every store and stuff. That's something I miss about like when you go to the malls. It's like you used to go to different malls, and if you're looking for something, you go to certain specific stores. If you look for pop figs, you go to every store. Because every store is like, even the clothing store, even the shoe store, everybody carries them. It's like,
I mean, the good thing with Pops is that there's like FYE exclusives that you can only get there. But then
there's Comic-Con like, exclusives too.
But then there's just like everything else is everywhere. And there's all these giant walls of them.
If you go to New York Comic-Con, you apply online to get a lottery ticket. So you get a ticket to get in, so you've got to apply for a chance to get in, and when you do get in, you're limited to what's there at the show, and depending on what day you go in, they may not have what you're looking for that day. I mean, that's how extreme they are. And Hasbro's kind of got that way with like some of the Transformers and stuff, where it's like, you know, they got rid of, like, there used to be independent shows like BotCon and JoeCon and stuff like that Hasbro kind of backed, like they would make exclusives for that show, and then they got rid of those shows. Like you and I went to the last BotCon ever, although I think they're making a comeback this year. I think they're trying to come back, but we went to the last BotCon ever, and it was basically because Hasbro was pulling any support out, and they want to. I think that their convention was just Pulse, which is their online collectors thing. And it was just like one convention, and it was My Little Pony. It was Hasbro owns everything. But it was like, that was the only place that you could go to get the collector cards and the exclusive Transformers and the exclusive G.I. Joe and the exclusive My Little Pony. And it was like, and it was the only show. So it was like, you can't go to San Diego Comic-Con, you can't go to New York Comic-Con, you can't go to all these other ones. And it's just kind of little on the obnoxious side, where it's like, it's like, you know, I kind of feel like they're kind of milking the audience a little bit. And it being like Hasbro, being that it's all encompassing, so it's everything that's Hasbro. So it's like, I know people that it's like, oh, well, I'm into He-Man only. Well, they're going to that show for He-Man. Oh, I'm into Transformers only. They're going to the show for Transformers. Oh, I'm into G.I. Joe. Well, they're going to the show. So they're tapping all these IPs, but it's just one big show. And we went far away from Q-Figs, so let's bring it back around to Q-Figs. Let's get the hell out of here. let's sign out of this thing.
I mean, in all, they're pretty cool. I mean, they're well molded and pretty. They're tanks. They can tank a lot. Some of them have fragile pieces.
Yeah, I'm afraid. Like I'm afraid of like this. Even there's
some of them are more fragile than others.
I mean, this one obviously. I mean, besides being my favorite character underneath Wolverine, this is my favorite Q-Fig of them all. And I love that he's carrying Han Solo's blaster. He's molded with Han Solo's blaster. I mean, I like them all. I don't have a Captain Marvel. I wouldn't turn it down if it showed up in this house. I also know how bad of a habit I have, and I need to pick and choose. What I mean, these two are kind of discounted because, you know, this was kind of reward for working, and this was kind of in trade. So this was kind of, these are kind of warranted, but you know, maybe Wolverine, but I gotta pick and choose my battles.
I mean, you get more shelving.
Yeah,
you can put them anywhere.
I mean, the price point is that they're kind of the same as, like, say, like the Joes and stuff. So they're kind of a little bit still on the expensive end, but
a little pricey.
They take a beating though. I mean, even if you don't want to take them out of the box is very well windowed.
Oh yeah, the box is great.
I was hoping I was going to dig a box out, but I didn't feel like.
Loki's box.
Yeah, Loki's box is back there, but I have to disrupt the curtain to get to it. So, but that's our review, but not a review because
we talked about Golden Girls for half
of
it.
When you get a chance, like and subscribe to GoldenGirls.com and check out Q-Figs if you haven't any. And if you have some Q-Figs, like, hit us up or any of your collectibles. Really,
oh my God,
to see any.
Just like send me pictures of stuff.
I mean, this has gone longer than I was expecting.
Send me pictures. Send me pictures of dogs, cats, Golden Girls.
Which one's your favorite? Is it Blanche? Because that's the only name we can recall right now.
I'm pretty sure that Betty White's is Rosie or something like that. I feel like
this is more than you already have.
I feel like I'm like.
Can we sign off for? All right.
Okay.
Catch you next time, and then we're just gonna keep talking about Golden Girls.
Yeah, okay, there's gonna be a Golden Girls episode.
Bye. See ya. So which one's Rosie? Adult collector, not intended for use by children. You're gonna have to give me. You have to give me these. I already missed my countdown. There's a surprise. No, but now his back's towards the camera. You can't do that.
Why she fire up? She fire at them.
She fire at them. Well, now you're looking at that ass instead of.
She's got a whole dump truck.
You're gonna cave.
Yeah.
And you're gonna look what I got, Dad. Oh, yeah. You wouldn't let me have your Loki. Oh. The cat likes to send them for a ride. Yeah, he's look at him. Look at him. Look at us right now.
Yeah,
like,
he knows.
He's hating us. He knows.
My birds.
No.
When they come out, they don't chew on it. They knock it off the top shelf.
You're a horrible collector.
Well, I don't have like cool shelves like you do. I have a bookshelf and then that top shelf that like sits up there, and that's where they sit is up on the top.
If you had a collection, your room would be like you would have no room at all. I keep picking on this every time. Smells like banana.
Does it?
No. I don't have to play it. I don't see it anymore. Every single episode I've been scratching at it right in the middle while we're recording and like, come off the table! But yeah, Q-Figs kind of disappeared for a little bit. We'll let you pick that up. I know I'm not a Q-Fig, but I should be a Q-Fig.
Oh my God, imagine a Stan Lee Q-Fig.
There probably is one. It's probably like a New York Comic Con exclusive, right?
You should look it up.
True believers.